Mortal soldiers, engineers, and zealots from the cities of Sigmar band together to challenge the terrors of the realms, relying on tactics, grit, and unyielding faith to get the job done. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Miniatures Tavern. My name is Watts, and today we are continuing our deep dive into Age of Sigmar Spearhead. Today we're going to take a look at the cities of Sigmar Spearhead. Again, just like the Stormcast box, this box came out a few months ago. And let's take a deep dive and see what we've got in store. So the Cities of Sigmar box is called Castelite Company. The composition of the units in the box, you're going to get one Free Guild Cavalier Marshal. You're going to get one Iron Weld Great Cannon. You're going to get 5 Free Guild Cavaliers, and you're going to get 10 Free Guild Steel Helms. And I almost guarantee you that you're going to be able to break those up into units of 5. You have a total of 17 models, and this comes in at 540 points. So significantly less points total than the Stormcast Yndrasta's Spearhead box. And this comes in at 540. Price for the box, you could get this Spearhead box from the Games Workshop website for $145. You can find it on Amazon for $123.25. And surprisingly enough, eBay matches Amazon with $123.25. If you're interested in getting it from Amazon, I ask that you please check the affiliate link down below, as if you purchase anything through our affiliate link, it really helps the channel and we super appreciate it. Here we go. So the Cities of Sigmar, the Castelite Company. Over here on the left-hand side, you're going to see what we already talked about. The Spearhead Army consists of the following units, and it's just got the breakdown there. And then over here on the right-hand side, we have the description. Although at its core, the tactical doctrine of Sigmar's mortal armies relies upon massed firepower and defense in depth, there are times when Free Guild commanders must be more flexible. On occasions where the deployment of a full army corps is not viable, smaller formations such as the Castelite Company will be dispatched to seize vital ground and defend it against threats. Commanded by an experienced Cavalier Marshal who has displayed particular adaptability and initiative in the face of the enemy, a Castelite Company specializes in absorbing the fury of an enemy attack before unleashing a devastating riposte in return. Free Guild Steel Helms form a sturdy core, advancing into battle with shields locked together, relying on discipline and faith to hold the line against whatever horror comes at them. With this anvil in place, the process of breaking the enemy upon it can begin. An Iron Weld Great Cannon sends bone-shattering ordnance blasting through the enemy ranks, while the Cavalier Marshal leads a thunderous countercharge to sweep them from the field. Free Guild Cavaliers sing Sigmarite battle hymns as they crush the opposition beneath the grinding hooves of their Destroyers or bash in their skulls with hammers and flails. Then we have a quote, "Steady yourselves, lads! Raise your shields and stir your spirits. I've never lost a battle, and I don't intend to start today." Cavalier Marshal Gillum, Markenroth of Settlers Gate. Sounds pretty cool. All right, your battle traits. Let's take a look there. Remember, in Spearhead, battle traits are like army rules in 40K. So let's take a look and jump in and see what the battle trait is for this Spearhead. The Officer's Order. You're going to pick a battle tactic card in your hand and place it face down separately next to your other battle tactic cards. The information on it is still hidden from your opponent, but make it clear which card is separate. The card stays separate until you use the command on it or score the battle tactic on it as described below. The effect is, when you use the command on that card, it is not discarded but returns to your hand. Your opponent can check the information on it before it returns to your hand. The card goes back to being a normal battle tactic card, with the exception that you cannot use the command on it in the same phase it went back into your hand. If you did not use the command on the card you separated, you can still score the battle tactic on it at the end of your turn as normal if you met its conditions. If you do so, discard it as normal. If you neither used the command nor scored the battle tactic on the card, it automatically returns to your hand at the end of your turn. And then there's a designer's note here. This ability essentially lets you use a command for free, but you have to choose the command at the start of the battle round, so it requires some planning ahead. So this is pretty cool. We know that the game mechanics for Spearhead is you draw cards for to score objectives, you know, to do your little side missions, secondary missions, but to also, each card has a powerful command that you can use, and if you blow the command, you can't score the objective. So this is pretty cool. It gives you like a card for free, so that's pretty neat. And not only can you use that command, but you can also score that objective. So there's definitely an opportunity here to score some extra victory points. Okay. Next, let's take a look at the regiment and enhancement abilities. Now, you're going to pick one from the regiment abilities, and you're going to pick one from the enhancements to give your general. So let's go over those. Regiment abilities, first up, we have a once per battle during your charge phase. It's called for Sigmar Charge, and you can use this ability before any charge abilities are used this phase, and the effect is friendly cavalry units that charge this phase have the strike first this turn. Oh, okay. The next one is also a once per battle, and this happens in the enemy shooting phase. It's called Iron Weld Discipline. You're going to pick an Iron Weld Great Cannon to use this ability on. It's a good thing we get one. And the effect is it can use the shoot ability as if it were your shooting phase. Only once per battle. You're going to get an extra little shot. I like the charge one. That's just me. Let's take a look at enhancements. Your first enhancement is once per battle at the start of any turn. You got Flask of the Lithazian Dark Water, and that's going to heal D6 your general. Once per battle, start of any turn, you get one heal. The next one, at the end of any turn, is called Brazier of the Holy Flame. You can pick a friendly Free Guild Steelhelms unit with your generals within your general's combat range, and you can return up to D3 slain models to that unit. And that's the end of any turn. It doesn't say that it's once per battle, so that's actually pretty cool. That's a good one. The next one is a passive ability. It's called Heirloom Blade, and the effect is you're going to add one to the Ren characteristics of your general's Master Forged Longsword. And then finally, the last one is a passive ability as well. It's called Glimmering, and that effect is each phase you can reroll one hit roll or one wound roll or one save roll made for your general. Okay, not too bad. Not super exciting, but not too bad. I like the Brazier of Holy Flame, where you can return up to D3 slain models to the unit. So far, that's my favorite one. And remember, enhancements, again, they go on your general. You can pick one. And these different options that you have between the regiments and the enhancements, it's just a way to add flavor to your Spearhead armies. I like the mechanic. I like the mechanic of it because you can try out different detachments in quotations like in 40K and just change up the way you play your army, which is really nice. I'm glad that they decided to do that. That's kind of cool. So that was regiment and enhancements abilities. Now let's go ahead and jump into the War Scrolls. First up, we got the Free Guild Cavalier Marshal. He has 7 health. He moves 10. He saves on 3, and he has 2 objective control points. He has a ranged weapon called the Dragoon Pistol that has a 10-inch range. Gets 2 attacks. It hits on 3s, wounds on 4s. It's got 1 rend, 1 damage, and it has an ability where you can shoot it in combat. His melee weapons, he has a Master Forged Longsword with 5 attacks, hitting on 3s, wounding on 4s, 1 rend, damage 2. That weapon has no special ability. And then his trusty steed has a ability 2, War Horses, Steel, and Shod Hooves. That's 2 attacks, hitting on 5s, wounded on 3s, 1 damage, and it's got the companion keyword. Let's go ahead and take a look at his ability. In your hero phase, he has Decisive Commander. You can pick a friendly Free Guild Steel Helms unit wholly within 12 inches of this unit to be the target and roll a dice. The effective of it is on a 2-up, you can pick one of the following. On your feet, if the target unit is not in combat, you can return D3 slain models to it, or yield no quarter. Add 3 to the target's unit control score until the start of your next turn. Now, here's an interesting question. Since he has the ability in the hero phase where you can return D3 slain models, does that stack with the other enhancement? I don't know. It's good to know. We might need some clarification, but just keep that in mind. And his keywords are hero and cavalry. Next up, we have the Free Guild Steel Helms. They have 1 health, they move 5 inches, they save on 4s, and they have 1 control point. They are armed with the Free Guild weapon. It's going to give them 2 attacks, hitting and wounding on 4s with 1 damage. They do have the reinforcements symbol here, which means that they can come back. Their ability is Consecrate the Land. If this unit is contesting an objective you control that is not contested by enemy models, roll a dice. On a 3-up, that objective is considered by you to be consecrated. Friendly units have a ward 6 while they are contesting a consecrated objective. If your opponent gains control of the consecrated objective, it is no longer consecrated. So this kind of gives them a little durability if they sit on the objective. Granted, it's a 6-up, but at least you have that mechanic, right? Because they're going to save on 4s. They only have 1 health, so it's nice to kind of have a ward, aka feel no pain. Their keywords are infantry and reinforcements. Next up, we have the Free Guild Cavaliers. Now, they have 3 health, they move 10 inches, they have a 3-up save and 1 control point. They are equipped with melee weapons. You have the Cavalier weapon, which is going to give them 3 attacks, hitting and wounding on 4s, 1 rend, 1 damage. And that weapon, the Cavalier weapon, gives them, when they charge, +1 damage. So they'll actually be damaging, their damage will be 2, which is pretty neat and pretty nice. And then, of course, they have the War Horses Steel Shod Hooves. Just like the other one, it's 2 attacks, hitting on 5s, wounding on 3s, damage 1 with the companion keyword. And any charge phase, their ability, they're going to get Devastating Charge. If this unit charged this phase, pick an enemy unit in combat with it to be the target of a dice roll. On a 2-up, inflict D3 mortal damage on that target. So that is pretty nice. You get 5 of these guys, and you can bring them back. Because no restriction on the models you can bring back, the units you can bring back. So just keep that in mind. The Steel Helms already have the reinforcement icon, so they're going to come back anyway. So you might want to save that for this, or you might want to save that for the cannon. I don't know. I haven't seen anything that tells us any different. We're going to continue to go through the War Scrolls, but I don't know. Just thinking about some different possibilities here. And their keywords, finally, are cavalry. And here we go. The last unit, the Iron Weld Great Cannon. It's got 8 health. It moves 3 inches. It is super, super slow. But you can shoot... It's got a lot of range. So it's okay if you move slow. And then I don't think you want it to move that much. Because I think you want it to be like reinforced, I think is what the name is. I don't know. Let's go through it. Save on 4, 2 control points. Ranged weapons, you have the Great Cannon Cannonball. The range is 24 inches. It gets 2 attacks. Hits on 4s, wounds on 2s. Ren 2, damage D3 plus 2. Very nice. Then you've got Grape Shot. That's got a 12-inch range, 5 attacks. Hitting and wounding on 3s, 1 rend, damage 2. And then the crew has melee weapons when the opponent gets up on them. Crew's tools and sidearms. Looking at 2 attacks, hitting and wounding on 4s, damage 1. It has the passive ability Shot and Shell. The effect, each time this unit uses a shoot ability, choose either the cannonball or the grape shot weapon characteristic for all the attacks it makes with its great cannon. The cannonball can only be chosen if this unit has not used a move ability that turn. So there it is. So you can't shoot with a great cannon. If you move, it looks like it's only going to be grape shot. It only moves 3 inches. I don't know how much moving you're going to do. It seems to me like this would be great to set up in the center of your deployment zone. You know what I mean? Your zone there, and just lay down cover fire for your other units to do what they need to do during the game. Just my thought. All right. And finally, guys, it's time to look at the SWOT analysis for the Cities of Sigmar Spearhead. We're going to dive into the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats to this army. So here we go. Let's start with strengths. The first strength is versatile and balanced army composition. The Castelite Company includes a mix of infantry, cavalry, and artillery, providing a balanced force capable of handling various battlefield situations. They have strong defense capabilities, with abilities like Consecrate the Land and the Brazier of the Holy Flame. Units can gain ward saves and return slain models, enhancing their staying power on objectives. And finally, powerful artillery support. The Iron Weld Great Cannon offers long-range firepower with versatile ammunition options capable of delivering devastating blows to the enemy. Let's go ahead and look at their weaknesses. First weakness is going to be complex coordination requirements. Maximizing the effectiveness of the army requires precise coordination and positioning of units to benefit from combined abilities and synergies. They're also vulnerable to focused attacks. Key units and heroes that provide significant buffs can become prime targets for opponents, potentially crippling the army's performance if they are eliminated. And then the last weakness is limited speed for infantry, and we touched on that a little bit, especially with the cannon. The Free Guild Steel Helms have a lower movement speed compared to other units, which can hinder rapid deployment and objective control. The cannon also. So keep that in mind. Positioning is going to be key if you're going to play this Spearhead detachment. It's a good thing the board is small, right? Huh? Am I right? All right. Let's look at opportunities. Opportunities for this army include objective control and defense. With strong defensive capabilities and command abilities that enhance resilience, the Castelite Company can excel at holding and contesting objectives. The second one is strategic deployment and tactics. Utilizing the officer's orders for flexible command usage and planning ahead can provide significant tactical advantages, allowing for adaptive responses to the battlefield situation. And then finally, we have enhanced offensive capabilities. Abilities like Force Sigmar Charge and Devastating Charge can be used to deliver powerful offensive strikes, particularly with cavalry units leading the charge. And finally, let's take a look at the threats. Targeted elimination of key units is definitely a threat. Opponents may focus on eliminating key units and heroes, such as the Free Guild Cavalier Marshal, to disrupt the army's command structure and weaken its overall effectiveness. The disruption of unit synergies, strategies that break up the formation and positioning of the Castelite Company can reduce the effectiveness of its command abilities and defensive buffs. And finally, a big threat to them is magic and ranged threats. Strong magical or ranged capabilities from opponents can bypass the army's defensive strengths and deal significant damage before the Castelite Company can effectively engage. So there you go, just some things to think about. SWOT analysis on this Spearhead box. Well, guys, there you go. Cities of Sigmar Spearhead. Are you getting excited? It drops this Saturday, and I should be getting my box on Saturday when it gets delivered. So we are definitely looking forward to this. Are you gonna play Cities of Sigmar? Let me know in the comments. Do you have any other tips, tricks, or recommendations? Share those, please, with our community in the comments. And that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video. Again, my name is Watts, and I will see you in the next video.